Every day, there's a war going on, a quiet war, invisible to the world but loud inside your mind. It's the battle between what you feel and what you know is right, between comfort and growth, between the easy road and the road that builds character. The greatest victories in life are never won on the outside, they're won within. Before you conquer a mountain, a business, a dream, or a destiny, you first have to conquer yourself. The mind is the battlefield. It's where decisions are made, habits are formed, and futures are shaped. The difference between success and failure, between happiness and frustration, between a life of meaning and a life of regret, all of it begins in the mind. And the truth is, no one escapes this battle. Every person alive, no matter how strong or successful, fights the same war, the war within. The question is not whether the battle will come. It's whether you'll win it. You see, the human mind is a powerful servant, but a dangerous master. Left alone, it will drift toward fear, doubt, excuses, and procrastination. It's lazy by nature, drawn to comfort like a moth to light. If you don't take charge of your thoughts will take charge of you. And if your thoughts rule you, they'll steer you toward the very life you say you don't want. That's why mastering your mind is not optional. It's essential. Every morning when you wake up, the battle begins. One voice says, stay in bed a little longer. Another says, get up and go to work on your goals. One voice says, you deserve a break. Another says, you haven't earned it yet. One says, you'll never make it. The other whispers, keep going. And whichever voice you obey will determine the kind of life you live. Most people lose this battle not because they're weak, but because they never learn how to fight it. They spend years learning how to make money, build skills, impress others, but they never learn how to master themselves. You can't win the outer world if you keep losing the inner one. You can't lead a company, a family, or a dream if you can't lead your own mind. Leadership always begins with self-leadership. And self-leadership is the art of doing what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's discipline, not desire, that determines destiny. You can feel unmotivated, but still move. You can feel tired, but still rise. You can feel fear, but still act. Mastery of the mind isn't about removing negative emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about being in charge, not being controlled. That's the difference between average and extraordinary, between those who talk about change and those who live it. When you learn to master your mind, you start seeing the world differently. Challenges no longer break you. They train you. Setbacks no longer discourage you. They educate you. Criticism no longer wounds you. It sharpens you. Life doesn't get easier, but you become stronger. Because strength is not built in comfort, it's built in conflict. You grow stronger every time you win one more small battle inside your own mind. Every day, the little choices matter. The decision to read instead of scroll. The choice to work instead of waste time. The courage to say no to temptation, to stay focused when distractions surround you. These are not small acts. These are victories. Each one adds up. Each one builds power. Every time you do what's hard instead of what's easy, you train your mind to obey your purpose, not your weakness. And that's how champions are made. See, your mind is like a garden. If you don't plant good seeds, weeds will take over. You can't expect roses if you let the weeds grow wild. You have to nurture it, water it, protect it, and prune it. The weeds are your doubts, fears, and negative thoughts. The seeds are your goals, gratitude, and growth mindset. Whatever you feed grows. So if you constantly feed your mind with fear and failure, don't be surprised when that's what fills your life. But if you feed it with faith, purpose, and vision, your life will begin to reflect that too. Your environment also matters. Surround yourself with people who push you to think bigger, not smaller. Who remind you of your potential, not your pain. The mind becomes what it's around. Spend too much time around negativity, and you'll start to absorb it. But when you spend time around growth, vision, and discipline, your mind adapts upward. It starts to believe in possibilities instead of problems. But mastering your mind is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. You don't win this battle once. You win it every single day. That's why discipline is not something you do once in a while. It's something you live. It's the daily commitment to stay on track when it's boring, when it's hard, when it's uncertain. The mind loves comfort, but growth lives outside comfort. That's why every great person you admire, every leader, every creator, every visionary, has mastered the art of doing what others avoid. The hardest battles are not fought with the world, they're fought with the self. The world outside can challenge you, but the world inside can destroy you if you let it. That's why you must train your thoughts like an athlete trains his body. You must develop mental muscles. And just like physical strength, mental strength grows with resistance. You can't grow if you avoid struggle. You can't evolve if you refuse discomfort. You grow by facing what you fear and doing it anyway. And don't expect perfection. Mastery doesn't mean you never fall. It means when you fall, you get back up faster. You catch yourself before the old habits take over. You refuse to let one bad day turn into a bad week. Because every time you restart, you strengthen your will. Every time you rise, you remind your mind who's in charge. You have to learn to talk to yourself, not listen to yourself. When your mind says, I can't, answer back, watch me. When it says, it's too hard, tell it, that's how I grow. When it says, you'll fail, respond, failure is my teacher. If you don't command your thoughts will command you. And the one who learns to talk back to his mind becomes the master of his fate. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. That's what separates the strong from the weak. The weak react out of emotion. The strong respond out of principle. When life hits, they don't panic. They adjust. When people doubt them, they don't argue. They improve. When fear whispers, they don't retreat. They prepare. That's the essence of mastery. Calm under pressure, clarity under chaos, courage under fear. And remember this, your mind believes whatever you tell it most often. If you keep saying, I'm tired, you'll feel tired. If you say, I'm unstoppable, your mind starts to look for ways to prove it. The mind is obedient. It follows your dominant thoughts. So guard them. Don't speak failure into your future. Don't declare defeat in your own voice. You have the power to reprogram your mind by the words you speak and the thoughts you repeat. Speak life, speak faith, speak growth, because your words are seeds and they always produce something. The battle of the mind is also the battle of focus. The modern world is full of distractions, endless noise, opinions, screens, notifications. Everyone wants your attention, but attention is power. Whatever captures it controls you. If you don't direct it toward your goals, someone else will direct it toward theirs. You must learn to protect your focus like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. Where focus goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, results grow. Every day, choose what deserves your attention. Choose what deserves your time. Choose what deserves your thoughts. The undisciplined mind is pulled in 100 directions. The disciplined mind moves in one, forward. When you learn to focus on what matters, everything else begins to fade. You realize that most battles are not worth fighting, most arguments not worth having, most worries not worth keeping. Because the real fight is not out there. It's in here. You have to remember that mastery doesn't come overnight. It comes in layers like carving a sculpture. Every day, you chip away a little more of the weakness, the doubt, the excuses. You refine your character, your habits, your thoughts. You won't notice the change right away. But one day you'll wake up, and the person staring back at you will be stronger, calmer, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. That's the reward of consistency. And when you start mastering your mind, something powerful happens. Peace. Not the peace that comes from an easy life, but the peace that comes from inner control. You're no longer shaken by everything around you. You stop blaming the world and start building yourself. You stop waiting for motivation and start creating discipline. You stop running from problems and start rising through them. Because now you understand, the mind is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally once it's trained. But you have to keep training it. Every morning, remind yourself, I'm in control today. Every evening, reflect, did I win the battle within? Some days you'll win. Some days you'll lose. But as long as you keep showing up to fight, you're growing. The only way to lose is to stop trying. The mind becomes obedient through repetition. Every time you choose courage over comfort, strength over softness, purpose over pleasure, you're programming yourself for greatness. Think of the person you want to become, the disciplined, confident, wise, unstoppable version of you. That person already exists inside you, but they're hidden under layers of excuses, fears, and habits. Every day, you remove one layer by mastering one thought, one choice, one moment. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. You don't need to change your whole life today. Just master one small part of it. The rest will follow. In the end, the greatest victory in life is not wealth or fame or applause. It's self-mastery. Because when you master your mind, you master everything. You're no longer tossed around by circumstances or moods. You're steady, clear, and strong. You don't need the world to be easy because you've become powerful enough to handle it as it is. That's the freedom most people never find. Freedom from the chaos within. Freedom from the pull of weakness. Freedom from the noise of doubt. That's true success. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, the battle begins again. One voice will say, sleep in. The other will say, get up. One will say, it doesn't matter. The other will say, it always matters. The decision you make in that moment is not small. It's a declaration. It's you telling your mind who's in charge. Win that battle, then win the next one. Each small victory adds up to a life that few ever reach. Because the real power is not in controlling the world. It's in controlling yourself. So win the battle within. Every single day, train your thoughts. Direct your focus. Strengthen your will. And when your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy, there's nothing in the world you can't achieve. The greatest victory is not over others. It's over yourself. Master your mind and you'll master your life. That's where the true power begins, inside. Focus is the currency of power. Everything you want in life, success, peace, progress, fulfillment, depends on what you give your attention to. Whatever holds your focus holds your future. The mind is like a lens. When it's clear and directed, it burns through obstacles like sunlight through a magnifying glass. But when it's scattered, diffused, and distracted, all that potential energy is lost. You can have the greatest goals, the best plans, the strongest desires, but if your focus is weak, your results will be too. The world belongs to those who can keep their attention where it matters most, while everyone else is being pulled apart by noise, temptation, and confusion. We live in a time when distraction has become the new addiction. Every ping, every notification, every scroll, every random thought pulls your attention away from your purpose. And most people never notice it happening. They think they're choosing how to spend their time, but in reality, their time is being stolen, one notification at a time. Every second your mind drifts, your dreams drift further away. The tragedy is not that people lack talent or opportunity. It's that they've lost the ability to focus long enough to build something meaningful. Focus is now a superpower because almost no one has it anymore. If you can learn to master your focus, you'll rise above the noise. Because while everyone else is reacting, you'll be creating. While others chase what's urgent, you'll be building what's important. Focus gives direction to effort. Without it, even hard work becomes scattered energy. You can be busy all day and still get nowhere. But when you align your focus with your goals, every action compounds. You begin to move with precision, purpose, and power. You stop doing 10 things halfway and start doing one thing with excellence. That's how extraordinary results are created. Not through chaos, but through concentrated clarity. The mind wants to wander. It loves novelty. It seeks easy pleasure because focus requires effort and effort requires strength. But like a muscle, focus grows with resistance. Every time you bring your attention back to the task at hand, you're training your mental discipline. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, scroll, or escape, you're building inner power. Most people let their minds run wild, but the masters make their minds sit still. And that's why they achieve what others only dream of. The key to focus is not trying to do everything. It's deciding what truly matters. You can't pour energy into every direction and expect to move forward. You must choose. You must eliminate. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it better. The ability to say no is the foundation of focus. Every yes is a commitment of time and energy you'll never get back. So when you say yes to distraction, you're saying no to your destiny. Guard your yes carefully. The moment you decide what deserves your full attention, you begin to regain control of your life. Clarity is the companion of focus. Without clarity, you can't focus. You must know exactly what you're working toward and why it matters. If your goals are vague, your attention will scatter. The mind needs a target. It needs direction. So write down your goals, review them daily, and remind yourself constantly of your mission. That reminder is your compass. It keeps your focus from drifting into the meaningless. A clear mind is a powerful mind, and a powerful mind can move mountains. But focus doesn't just come from goals. It comes from your environment. The people you're around, the space you live in, the routines you follow, they all influence your ability to concentrate. A cluttered space leads to a cluttered mind. A noisy environment invites distraction. You can't stay sharp if your surroundings are dull. So design your environment to support your focus. Remove the noise, simplify your life, create rituals that anchor your attention. When your environment is aligned with your intentions, focus becomes natural. Energy management is also part of focus. You can't expect sharp attention if your body is exhausted, your mind overstimulated, and your emotions drained. Focus thrives in balance. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mental rest are not luxuries, they're requirements. When your body is strong, your mind follows. When your emotions are calm, your focus deepens. When your schedule includes rest, your productivity multiplies. It's not about working endlessly, it's about working intentionally. A tired mind can't focus no matter how strong your will is. Protect your energy so your focus can serve your purpose. Another truth about focus is that it's not always about intensity, it's about consistency. Some people burn bright for a moment, then fade because they can't sustain it. True mastery comes from the ability to focus steadily, day after day, through boredom, through setbacks, through the ordinary. Success is not a single burst of effort. It's the result of repeated focus over time. When you commit to the process, not just the outcome, your focus becomes unbreakable. You begin to trust yourself. You learn to show up even when it's not exciting, even when no one's watching. That's where transformation happens, in the quiet repetition of focus over time. Distractions will always test you. They'll come disguised as opportunities, entertainment, or even obligations. The world will constantly whisper, "This is urgent," when in reality, it's not. You must learn to distinguish between what demands your attention and what deserves it. That's wisdom. Most people give their focus to what screams the loudest instead of what matters the most. But those who learn to protect their attention, those who can turn off the noise, say no to what's irrelevant, and stay centered on what builds their future, those are the ones who rise. The mind is programmable. Every time you allow yourself to drift, you train it to lose focus faster. But every time you pull it back, you train it to obey. You are constantly conditioning your mind through repetition. That's why mindfulness matters. Learn to catch yourself the moment your focus slips. Don't judge it, don't fight it, just bring it back. Like steering a car, every correction keeps you on course. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to stay aware. Awareness is the beginning of mastery. There will be days when focus feels impossible. The world will pull at you from every side. You'll feel scattered, anxious, restless. That's normal. Focus is not about eliminating noise. It's about holding steady in spite of it. The calmest minds are not those without storms, but those that learn to stand still within them. Every time you hold your focus through chaos, you strengthen your inner control. Every time you stay centered while the world distracts you, you grow more powerful. Focus is inner strength in motion. To master focus, you must also master presence, the ability to be fully here, fully engaged, fully alive in the current moment. Most people live divided, half their attention on the past, half on the future. They miss the power of now. The present moment is where your strength lives. It's where your creativity, intuition, and clarity emerge. You can't change your life tomorrow. You can only do it through what you focus on today. When you learn to live in the present with full attention, every task becomes meaningful. Every moment becomes a step forward. Your focus shapes your reality. Whatever you consistently pay attention to, you invite more of it into your life. Focus on problems and they grow. Focus on possibilities and they expand. Focus on fear and it multiplies. Focus on gratitude and life becomes abundant. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your experience. So ask yourself often, what am I focusing on right now? Is it helping me or hurting me? That question alone can redirect your life. And remember, focus is not something you find, it's something you choose. It's a decision you make moment by moment. You don't wait for focus, you create it. You decide right here, right now, what matters most. You decide where your mind will live. Because the truth is, your focus is your life. Where it goes, your life goes with it. Every small victory over yourself builds unshakable confidence. Confidence is not built in a day, it's built in moments. Quiet, unseen. Ordinary moments when you choose discipline over comfort, courage over fear, persistence over excuses. Each of those choices, as small as they may seem, is a victory in the war within. Every time you win one, you strengthen your character. You prove to yourself that you can trust your own word, and that trust becomes confidence. The kind that doesn't shake when the world tests you, because it's rooted in proof, not empty affirmation. Confidence is not something you shout about, it's something you live. It doesn't come from motivation videos or compliments from others. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say, "I'll do it," and actually do it, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. Every small victory tells your subconscious, "I can rely on me." And that's how real confidence grows, not through loud declarations, but through quiet consistency. The person who wins small internal battles starts walking differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. Because they no longer doubt their own strength, they've tested it, and they know it's real. We often think confidence comes from big achievements, winning awards, building wealth, gaining recognition. But those are just the byproducts. True confidence begins much earlier, much smaller. It's built in the morning when you get up on time, even when you don't feel like it. It's built when you finish the workout you wanted to skip, when you complete the task you promised to do, when you stay kind even when it's easier to be rude. These moments might not seem impressive, but they're the foundation of everything. Because if you can't trust yourself with the small things, how will you ever believe you can handle the big ones? Every small victory rewires the brain. It replaces hesitation with conviction. The first time you act on a commitment, you feel uncertain. The second time, you feel capable. The 10th time, you feel unstoppable. Confidence is built repetition by repetition, like a muscle strengthened through resistance. Every moment of resistance you overcome adds to your mental strength. You don't need to conquer the whole mountain in one step. You just need to take the next one and take it fully. Confidence doesn't come from knowing you'll succeed. It comes from knowing you'll keep going even if you don't. Small victories are powerful because they create evidence. Evidence that you are stronger than your excuses, that you can control your impulses, that you are capable of growth. And evidence removes doubt. People who lack confidence often live with too much evidence of failure and too little evidence of follow-through. They start things but rarely finish them. They make promises but often break them. Each broken promise becomes a scar on self-trust. The only way to heal that is by starting small and rebuilding credibility with yourself, one kept promise at a time. When you say you'll wake up early and do, that's a victory. When you say you'll read instead of scrolling and follow through, that's a victory. When you choose patience over anger, that's a victory. When you resist giving up halfway, that's a victory. Each of these moments is like adding a brick to the foundation of your confidence. The more bricks you lay, the stronger it stands. You don't build confidence by waiting to feel ready. You build it by doing what you said you'd do, especially when you don't feel ready. Confidence built through small victories is unshakable because it's earned. It doesn't rely on perfect conditions or external validation. It's the kind of confidence that stays when no one's watching. That remains even when life hits hard. It's not arrogance, it's assurance. Assurance that no matter what happens, you can handle it. You've faced discomfort before and survived. You've pushed through doubt before and finished. You've fallen before and gotten up. That kind of proof is worth more than any pep talk. People search for shortcuts to confidence. They want instant certainty without effort. But real confidence is quiet, steady, humble. It's the result of thousands of small decisions that align with your values and your vision. It's saying no when temptation is loud. It's choosing long-term growth over short-term ease. It's showing up every day, not because you feel confident, but because you're committed. And one day you look back and realize you've become the kind of person who doesn't quit. That realization is where confidence lives. Every small victory also trains your mind to expect success. It changes your inner dialogue. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you start saying, "I've done harder things before." You carry forward the proof of your past effort. Your memory of discipline becomes a source of power. It's not about never feeling fear or doubt. It's about not being controlled by them. Each small win becomes a reminder that you are capable of more than you think. And over time, your belief in yourself becomes natural, effortless, automatic. You start to notice a shift. Challenges that once scared you now excite you. Tasks that felt impossible now feel achievable. You no longer depend on external validation to feel good about yourself because you've built an inner record of success. This is why the strongest people often seem calm. They're not guessing who they are. They've proven it through countless small victories that no one saw. Their confidence isn't loud, but it's solid. Even on the days you fail, there's an opportunity for a small victory. You can still win by refusing to quit, by learning the lesson, by showing up again tomorrow. Failure only breaks those who stop trying. For those who keep going, every setback becomes a stepping stone. You don't lose confidence by failing, you lose it by refusing to rise. The act of standing back up is itself a small victory, and every time you do it, you grow stronger. The mind loves progress. It thrives on momentum. Every completed task, every promise kept, every disciplined choice releases a small spark of energy and satisfaction. That feeling tells your brain, this is who I am, and your identity begins to shift. You start seeing yourself not as someone who struggles, but as someone who conquers. The identity shift is the real prize. Because once your mind believes you're a finisher, you'll approach everything with a winner's mindset. Confidence built through small victories is sustainable because it's self-generated. You don't have to wait for others to praise you. You can build it daily, privately, quietly. Every act of integrity adds to it. Every time you do the right thing when it's hard, you rise in your own eyes. And that's the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. When you respect yourself, when you trust your own word, you stop needing the world's permission to believe in your worth. It's not about perfection. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to win more than you lose. Every time you fall, start again. Every restart counts. Every attempt strengthens your mental resilience. The process itself becomes the proof. Over time, the small victories accumulate like drops filling a bucket. One day you realize that the bucket has overflowed, and the timid version of you has been replaced by a grounded, confident one. The beautiful thing about small victories is that they compound. Just like money in an investment, each one earns interest. The confidence from one area of life spills into another. You learn to trust yourself at work, and suddenly you have more courage in relationships. You learn to follow through in fitness, and soon you're more disciplined with finances. Success in one area teaches your mind that success is possible everywhere. The confidence you earn doesn't stay confined, it expands with you. Every small victory is also a vote for your future self. It's you casting a ballot for who you want to become. The more votes you cast, the stronger that version becomes. Each choice either reinforces weakness or builds strength. There's no neutral action. Every decision is a deposit or a withdrawal in your confidence account. So if you want to become powerful, start with small wins. They might not look impressive from the outside, but inside, they're building an empire. That's why it's not the big moments that define you. It's the small daily ones. The quiet victories that no one applauds. The invisible efforts that no one sees. Those are the moments that shape your confidence and solidify your belief in yourself. When you look back, you'll realize it wasn't one grand success that changed everything. It was the collection of small, consistent victories that built an unshakable mind, one decision at a time. You don't need control over the world, just over your reactions. Life will always throw things at you that you didn't expect, things you didn't plan, people you didn't choose, outcomes you didn't want. You can't stop that. You can't stop the storms, the losses, the disappointments, or the changes that come without warning. But what you can control every single day is how you respond, and that response determines everything. Your peace, your power, your growth, your future. The world may be chaotic, but you can still choose calm. People may be unkind, but you can still choose grace.